Mauricio, what's up? Well, I just started a 7-day vacation, so I can stay up as late as I want, and sleep in as late as I want. Because I came home from work and slept for like 3 hours. So I'm like, praised be vacation. I found these pencils just online. You just Google Jim Lee X-Men pencils, and there's a couple of them, a couple of pages. I didn't care for the new Superman too much either. I thought it was fine. I'm not mad that I saw it, but I'll never go watch it again. I took my two kids, they're 13 and 10, and they kind of enjoyed it. They had enough fun. But me, being an old school, original Christopher Reeve Superman movie fan, it's hard for anybody to do anything that compares. Well, see, Mauricio, that's just a matter of opinion, dude. Overrated to you is underrated to somebody else. And again, I didn't love it, but I don't hate its existence. Like, it's fine. But yeah, I'm never going to watch it again. Yo Montomoto, you like my videos? Well, thank you. You're in the right age demographic. I should really give Megaton Man a chance. I mean, I reviewed the crossover he did with Eric Larson recently, and then I did find an old issue of Megaton Man that I did review sometime in the last year, I think. I recognize that it's good art. It's not the kind of thing that gets me really that interested or excited. You know, I can tell it's good art. It doesn't thrill me. And I don't really care for Don Simpson. If that's what we're talking about. If we're talking about that Megaton Man, I mean, I assume so. That's the only one I know of. Yeah, like I said, I know, I recognize the artwork is good. It's just, it's not a style that I personally love, but I'm just repeating myself, I know. I recognize what he does is very good. I mess around with the Hunt 102 inking nib, the same thing that Scott Williams used to use. It's a really hard tool to figure out. Lots of practice required, and I can't really get it to do what I want it to do most of the time. But on occasion, I get lucky and I get some lines that kind of work out. I am on Instagram. I'll show you here. Oh, you found it? Okay, I was going to say, if it's that one you're looking for, that's me. Yeah, man, I just saw that I got a follower. My phone beeped at me. I'll check it out as soon as I wrap up inking for the night. Yo, Daniel Gonzalez, man, what is up? Awesome, you're inking? Yeah, I've been seeing your work you've been posting. Looking fantastic and inspiring as always. Yeah, Daniel, no, I'm dead serious, man. Your work, you know, it's inspiring stuff. In fact, you put up a post, I think it was on Instagram, where you were kind of breaking down how you do your buildings, your backgrounds, how you like, if I remember correctly, how you block out the basic shapes and then you find reference for textures to kind of guide your hand in the way that you are going to finish the buildings. And I've been thinking about it. I struggle with doing stuff like that. And you've given me a lot to think about. Like, it sounds so simple in a way, but I've been thinking a lot about how you said you do it, and like I gotta focus on that. So you're inspiring me, dude. Michael Pritchard, yeah, you know the exact dialogue. That's awesome, man. Dr. Tarek Darwish, how's it going? Well, I think you're certainly onto a good technique there, man. And like I said, I need to practice more the way that you're doing it. Boy, this is a pain in the ass. It's not the bells. It's also our belly breath. Ugh, so hard to ink through a light box like this when you can't see the details so clear. It's like kind of blurred and faded, and you just have to guess, and it's tricky. Yeah, but see, that requires me like going to somewhere where I can print them out and paying to get a sheet of paper to do something that's just kind of for goofing off anyway. If this was like a real job that I was doing for a person, I would spend the time to do that, but this is just kind of a just something for me just to do, just cause. Trying to replicate some of that Scott Williams-ish cross-hatching inking. It's not easy. You want to be a VIP. Daniel Gonzalez, you also just got your bulk from Wellspring, and you're now waiting on some supplies to start shipping them. You're saying you wouldn't even have a book if it wasn't for my channel? You don't think you'd be creating if it wasn't for watching me make stuff? Is that what you're saying, Dan? And you're such a talented, creative dude, man. I can't wait to see your stuff, in person. Roland, not many people understand how much heavy lifting Scott Williams and Art T. Beer were doing over Jim's pencils. You know, I mean, I agree, but I guess in a way it kind of sounds like implying that maybe Jim Lee's pencils weren't as good as they could be. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, because I don't know. I feel like the pencils that he put down are just as good as anybody else's. But yes, the inkers definitely, had to bring that line work that we're so used to that makes Jim Lee's work what we're all interested in. That's crazy, Daniel. Well, if I had any part in it, I'm glad to, help push or inspire anybody. I've said forever that making comics it's where it's at. It's fun if you're a creative person. You can create any story you want, tell it any way you want. You do have to put in the effort, and you clearly are. Yeah, Roland, you're right. Yeah, he was, by the end of it, he was definitely not putting forth. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because you're 100% right. Jim Lee's pencils were getting very much into the, just breakdown kind of style, not doing full pencils. Yeah, you're 100% correct. I don't know. I've never thought of it like that, Roland, because I honestly kind of feel like he was phoning it in, but I took that, and maybe I'm wrong. I took that as that he was getting ready to go make Image Comics, and he had a million other things going on. So, wrapping up his X-Men run. I guess that's still technically exactly what you're saying. He didn't have the time to put in what Marvel was demanding of him. So maybe that's just the same thing. If that's what he was doing, getting ready to go bounce to Image and see what that's going to be. Yeah, I remember him saying that. Something about how, like at first he kind of going along and just kind of doing fine, but as time goes on, he's like, this is, because how many different images did he have to do? However many cards that was. Yeah, I remember that interview for sure. It's a lot of work. You know, they're throwing so much money at him. How can you like turn it down? But at a certain point, you're like going to just burn out. Daniel, you've always had ideas and whatever like everyone else, and I think that what hit me the most is when you once said in one of my videos that it's never going to be perfect, so just make it anyways. Yeah, that's something that I learned. That, you're really helping my self-confidence to know that some of the stuff that I'm saying has kind of had a positive effect on others. It's really humbling. But yeah, that's something that I believe. And because I did it myself for years, I'll sit there and hold on to ideas forever. Like I'll get to it eventually I'll get to it. But then next thing you know, it's been 20 years and you haven't done shit. And it's like, well, then you're not